everyone, my name is Lara. I love to call myself your finance enthusiast. Here you can be rest assured that finance will be brought to you in the simplest and most relatable way possible. I love to say that I love to make money make sense. So today we're going to be talking about TFSA. I believe TFSA is one of the best financial tools that the government of Canada has made available for the Canadian citizens and residents. TFSA is an acronym for Tax-Free Savings Account. I would like to say that the name itself is a bit confusing because TFSA shouldn't just be a savings account. I love to actually call it Tax-Free Investment Account. This is because any money put into TFSA sitting pretty in that account does not do the contributor any good. If you put money in your TFSA account, you should be able to invest the funds and enjoy the benefits of the tax-free nature of the investment returns and the contribution itself. So yes, you can hold cash in the account, but you can also hold stocks, bonds, GICs, ETFs in your TFSA. Who is a TFSA for? A TFSA is for Canadian citizens, residents, anyone that is at least the age of 18. So once you clock 18 in Canada, whether you open a TFSA account or not, the contribution room is automatically open and you can open the account whenever you want and then start contributing. However, you must also have a SIN, a social insurance number, for you to be able to open a TFSA account. So first you have to be a Canadian resident, you have to be at least the age of 18, and you must have a social insurance number. The contribution room since 2009 that the government of Canada made this account available for residents has varied over the years. From 2019 to 2022, the contribution limit has been $6,000. 23, it increased to $6,500, and from 2024 till 2026, which is till date, the contribution limit has been $7,000. So anyone who has been in Canada, for instance, if you moved to Canada in 2003, your contribution limits would have 500, 2004, 7,000, 2005, 7,000, and 2006, 7,000. So if you add that together, that would give you the total limit that you have. However, to make things easy, you can just always check your CRA account just to be sure of how much your limit is. So if we say that the TFSA is not just for savings, what can we hold inside the TFSA? Think of the TFSA as a basket. The basket itself does not increase or does not grow, but it's the things you put in the basket that then grows and yields returns for you. So you can invest in GICs, you can invest in ETFs, you can put cash in it, you can invest in mutual funds and stocks, and the list goes on and on. So your TFSA can be for long-term investing and it can also be for short-term savings. Now let's talk about your contribution room. There are different factors that affect your contribution room or limit for the year. You'd have to factor in your annual contribution limit, your unused contribution room for the previous year, your withdrawals for the previous year, minus all contributions that you have made year till date. And year till date would be the day you become eligible, which is either the day you become a Canadian resident or the day you turned 18 if you were living in Canada at that age or before you turned 18. It is important to note that unused rooms rolls forward forever and withdrawals get added back every January 1st of the next year. Please note that your TFSA contributions are not tax deductible. What does that mean? When you file your tax, the money you put in your TFSA does not reduce your taxable income. Let me break it down. You pay tax once on the money you earn. And by earned income, I mean your salary, wages, or whatever it is. After that, everything the TFSA money earns, whatever you take out, is tax-free. This is because you contribute with after-tax income. But the benefits are that any investment growth, interest are tax-free. So someone might ask, what happens when I want to withdraw my money? I want to take my money out. Am I going to be taxed? No. Withdrawals are also tax-free. Don't forget that we already explained that money contributed or deposited in your TFSA account has already been taxed. So whatever returns you make on it, or when you're ready to take out your funds, you're not going to be taxed. So another person might ask, how does my TFSA contribution affect income-based benefits like OAS, CCB, and the rest of them? Both TFSA withdrawals and contributions do not affect any income-based benefits. So regardless of how much you put in your TFSA, it does not affect your Canada Child benefits. It does not affect your old age security in Canada. If you go over your TFSA contribution limits at any point during the year, CRA will charge you a whopping 1% penalty on the excess amount. The excess amount sits there for 3 days. You'll still be charged for a month. Here is an example. If your TFSA limit is $2,000 and whether you mistakenly or intentionally contribute $3,000, the excess amount in this scenario is $1,000. CRA will charge you 1% of $1,000, which is $10 for that month. Is it possible to use your TFSA as a collateral assignment? Absolutely. However, it does come with conditions. While you may not be able to personally assign the TFSA to a lender as you would with insurance, the lender may allow using the investment inside the TFSA as security or set up a secured line of credit backed by the TFSA. So in this case, you still own the TFSA. The investment stays in the TFSA. What you cannot freely do is freely withdraw from that account while it is still being pledged. So yes, you keep the TFSA investment, but the lender places a lien on the account. If you don't repay the loan, the lender can force liquidation of the TFSA assets. Please note, however, that some Canadian institutions do not allow TFSA as a collateral. This is because it is a registered account and there are tax and regulatory rules. What happens when the TFSA account holder dies? The TFSA itself ends at death. The beneficiaries get the investment tax-free. If the TFSA continues to yield returns after the death of the account holder, that income is no longer tax-free and must be reported on the estate tax return. When a TFSA account holder dies, what happens to the account depends on who they named on the account. This part is very important because it changes everything. Now, there are two scenarios. The account holder may have a successor holder who is usually a spouse or a common law partner or a beneficiary. The beneficiary could also be a spouse, a child, or whoever they want to name as a beneficiary. If there is a successor holder, the TFSA continues in the spouse's name and stays tax-free. It also does not use up the spouse's contribution room. For beneficiaries, however, you receive the TFSA value as cash. You can't keep it as TFSA, and any future contribution would need their own available room. In a situation where the account holder did not name any successor holder or any beneficiary, it simply goes into the estate of the deceased and is shared according to the will or law if there is no will at death. Now, let's very quickly go over the common mistakes that some people make when they are contributing into their TFSA. I know some of this would have been mentioned in the course of our prior explanation and discussion. However, I would like to very quickly itemize them just so that it kind of sticks better. The very first mistake that people make when contributing into their TFSA account is over contributing. Don't forget that we mentioned that for every excess amount put into the TFSA account, the CRA charges 1% as penalty. And don't forget also that even if the excess amount stays in your TFSA account for a few days, the government will charge the penalty as a month, meaning that the penalties are charged on a monthly basis. If it stays there for just a few hours, it is still calculated as 1% per month. Another mistake that people make is recontributing too early into their TFSA account. You would recall that we had said that it is always better to recontribute after you have withdrawn from your TFSA the following year, except you are certain that you still have contribution room. Let me give a scenario. If you have $5,000 as contribution room for 2026, for instance, in March, you take out $3,000. If you put that $3,000 back in your TFSA account by April, the CRA would interpret it as a new contribution. This is a huge mistake that a lot of people make. What this simply means is that you would have $2,000 left as your contribution room. The fourth mistake I would like to mention is not naming a successor holder or a beneficiary. Honestly, this could cause some legal complications, could cause delay, and even possible taxes on growth after death. Now, I'm also aware that some people use their TFSA for short-term spendings only. You are missing out on long-term compounding growth if this is all that you use your TFSA for. In my opinion, your TFSA needs to be diversified. So you can plan it in such a way that you have your short-term savings, but most importantly, you also keep it for long-term investments. I feel that one of the most important benefits of TFSA is time. You need to give your TFSA time. You put your money in TFSA, the best thing is to just go to bed, close your eyes, and sleep. The last mistake I would like to talk about is people not maximizing their TFSA early. The earlier you invest, the more powerful it becomes. Waiting for long is equal to lost tax-free growth that you never get back. So here are the simple takeaways. TFSA is very powerful, but you have to do certain things. You have to stay within your contribution limits. Number 2, you have to invest wisely. Do not just keep it for savings only. Let your money work for you. The third point is let it grow long term. The last point would be understand the rules, understand how it works, understand the things you cannot invest in a TFSA, know your contribution limits, and once you do all of this, you are set up. So the TFSA is one of the most powerful tools to build wealth in Canada. The earlier you start, the more it works for you. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and drop your TFSA comments in the comment section, and I will definitely be in the comment section to respond to whatever question you might have. Again, my goal is to help you make money make sense and make you more comfortable and more confident in your personal finance. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.